Let me start this over. All right, yeah, let's go. Let's go. This is what happens when you overthink shit. I'm looking for something. See, I'm trying not to. Yo, daily go get our medicines. I said, you know what I haven't introed this show right in a good while. Let's do it the way we used to do. When we do this, daily go get a medicine show. We do this every single day, every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby, every day it rains, and every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. Yeah. How y'all feeling tonight, y'all? Are we ready? So tonight on the DG show, we are talking about hit a wall. When you hit a wall in your relationship, when you hit a wall in your progress, do you know what it means to hit a wall? It means that it's hard for you to go any further. You can't see the light, yeah. Can't see the light, T carry right, yeah. Can't see the world, Shirley Cheryl, What's going on? 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 Going on? What's 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 going on? How you? Don't hit a wall. Don't hold back. Try not to stall. It's going to be alright. I guarantee that. We keep rocking. Make sure everything. We keep drumming. Give them something. Keep it tight. Everything is gonna be alright. I keep beating to all the people that I'm meeting. Keep strumming. Yeah, like Philip Drummond. Go a little harder, sorta like Sean Carter. We are here and it appears. Keep banging, Mr. Cooper, keep hanging. And now, right around and how it sound. Go a little bit more, make sure everything is gonna work out fine. It's yours, it's mine, it's yours. Released in 1984. I know you remember, it was summer and not December. 1983, sucker MCs. Throwback Thursday, y'all remember that day. Keep up, no nose, yup. Keep beating, wintertime, keep heating. Summertime, keep it cool, cut the fool. Are you up now? New sound, we found. Check it out, I'm about to switch it up now. Everything is gonna work out right. Y'all know the style. Improvise. What y'all want? How we, what? We keep going. Originality is showing. Whose birthday? Who was born today? Everything is gonna work out right. Aight. Struggle bees, baby. Struggle bees is what we need. A cold and rain. Yo, share for a little out for my team. Pour out a little liquor. Yeah, it goes quicker. Smoke a blizzy. I ain't promoting, no Izzy. Keep rocking. Throwback Thursday. Yo. Yeah. What? Let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily. It's a daily go-getter-mism show. You think it ain't when it is. You think it, yeah, you think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it whiz. We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. Take it all fast lane, no coasting. And everything is gonna be all right. We talking about hitting the wall in your relationship tonight. Hitting a wall in your relationship to hitting a wall and your progress to hitting the wall at your job tonight. Hitting the wall with your money right. Hitting the wall with your career. Your creativity is not there. Hitting the wall, but don't hit it, it's wall ball. All right, let's get it popping, y'all. Let's get it popping. No stopping. 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 I said no stopping. So what's going on? Urban Therapy with Sun 752. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show, all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about hit a wall. When you have hit a wall in your relationship, hit a wall in your progression, hit a wall in whatever that you are doing, when you know that you want to do it a little bit better than you're doing it. Maybe you're in competition. Maybe you're just in competition with yourself. And it's like having writer's block. And anybody who has ever been a writer knows that having writer's block is like the most demoralizing thing that can happen to a writer. It's like you're out of ideas. How you gonna be a writer and you're just out of ideas? Well, it can happen. It ain't no big deal, but it can seem like a big deal at the time when you have never been through something like that before. But in the matters of love, and this is Throwback Thursday, and let's get real about relationships Thursday. So when you talk about hitting a wall in your relationship, you're talking about a situation where you probably don't feel like you can go any further. You've run out of ideas and how to maintain, sustain, and retain your relationship. Does it mean that it's the end? Is this the end? Are you my friend? Ooh, it seems to be. You want to be free. Well, it happens, my dude. It happens, my G. It can happen to anybody. But when it happens to you, how will you handle it? How can you handle it? How have you handled it? Because, I mean, I'm sure that some people have already been through this kind of thing. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, you haven't stayed with the people that you've been in a relationship for the rest of your life. You haven't, I mean, you've had some boyfriends, you've had some girlfriends. You know, few of us have been around the block a time or two, learned some things, taught some things, sometimes voluntarily, other times against our will. But, you know, the world has to turn and we got to turn with it. We got to turn with it. All right. So TK, right, says you are in your own world doing this intro, brother. I can dig it. Man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And some days I would just drum for the whole 2 hours. I would do this shit. If I really thought y'all would watch that shit, I would do it for the whole show. I'd just be wanting to jam. I'd be wanting, yo. Yeah, for real. But I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. right, TK, right. That's right. Sing that new edition. But yeah, so hit a wall in your relationship. Hit a wall in your progress. Hit a wall in your love. Hit a wall. Hit a wall in your progress. Hit a wall in your love. Hit a wall in your progress. Which one y'all want to talk about first? It is Throwback Thursday. It is Let's Get Real About Relationships Thursday. So it was Throwback Thursday way before it was Let's Get Real About Relationships Thursday. So maybe we should start there. Can you think about a time in your life where you hit a wall? Now, you may have hit walls all the way back when you were in single digits, somewhere between the time when you were born all the way up to age 9. You know, if You could have been in special classes. And no, I don't mean learning disability classes. Some of y'all was extremely smart and y'all were put in those advanced classes because you could read really good or do math really good or do both. You know, you were just gifted. You know how it is. Remember in school, especially in public school, they would separate the wheat from the chaff. So y'all students who had parents who were tutoring y'all at home and tightening y'all up and making sure that y'all knew y'all material and made sure that y'all did y'all homework and all that kind of stuff. Many times y'all got put in a separate class. I remember having to leave the class like, all right, y'all, I'll be back after a couple of hours. I had to go do some work with the smart kids. And they was really smart too. And that's when you find out that intelligence has nothing to do with your income level. It has nothing to do with your income level. Because I'll never forget Tisa Lewis. Tisa Lewis was probably the smartest girl in the whole school. And I had classes with Tisa Lewis. Little light-skinned cutie. I remember little light-skinned cutie. And she stayed smart. But she lived in the projects, right around the corner from where the school was. Down the street and around the corner. And her family lived in them projects, you know, through the drugs and all of that. But one of the reasons I really remember her is because she refused to get caught out there and submit to the pressures of her neighborhood. She wasn't having it. Was not having it. She wound up going to Central High School, and anybody who's from Philly knows that you had to be smart as shit to go to Central. Well, Tisa had it going on. And I had classes with Tisa. Second grade. I had to leave my classroom to go have classes with Tisa. Who else do I remember? Tisa was in those classes. Veronica is a supporter, definitely a go-getter, definitely a supporter of the Daily Go-Getterism show. What's her name when she comes on the show? Is it Ronnie? It looks like Roni, R-O-N-I. Is that what her name is when she comes on? Anyway, it was her, my man David Forrest. I can't remember anybody else. Not that nobody else was smart, but they wasn't in those classes. That was the little MG of our elementary school. But anyway, so, you know, when you are young and, you know, maybe you're in advanced classes or something like that, or and you're actually in competition with other students, not just doing your homework, turning in your projects and stuff like that, but when you are in those magnet classes, when you're in those mentally gifted classes and things like that, you are in direct competition with your peers. So when you see them coming up with all kinds of new fly shit academically, and you might just want to do your homework and go home. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't ask for all this mentally gifted shit. I don't even think I'm mentally gifted. I can read and write and do math. What's the big deal? So you might have hit a wall when it comes to that. What up, TOG? What's good? And some guy says how much those necklaces weigh. Well, they are heavy, but they ain't, you know, I mean, they ain't heavy like that. Well, yeah, they are. Yeah. I would say these joints weigh at least 2 pounds. I would say about 2 pounds. I would definitely say about 2, especially this one. This one heavy as hell. This is absolutely a pound by itself or more. But these are my struggle beads. These are my struggle beads. You said they look pretty crunky. Cool. Cool. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come on this show and start dissing. Like, you look stupid. What's that shit around your neck? I don't be believing them. I'm like, man, these Man, what you talking about? This is genuine cow bones. You know what I mean? A cow used to go moo and stand on their feet for these. But yeah, so, like I was saying, you could have been in these mentally gifted classes, these advanced classes where you are in direct competition with your peers, and you may not have been thinking about anything smart for a little while. So you may have hit a wall at a young age. Not saying that you stupid or or you weren't really equipped to run with the fast horses, but you could have hit a wall at a young age. So you have to reach deep down inside or explore other things, other things that may get your creative juices flowing or your academic juices flowing or whatever. I think hitting a wall has a lot to do with interest. I think it has a lot to do with interest. Now, y'all might see it a different way. That's what's up, man. TOG says, man, that's some beautiful necklace, home. I appreciate that, my dude. I do. I appreciate that. Appreciate it mucho, mucho, mucho. So yeah, some guy says, nah, I ain't saying anything bad on them. Kind of cool, just big as fuck. And, well, you know what? Fuck, what we haven't done in a while? Let's do this. Since I wear the struggle beads, I've gotten away from this. But tell you what, y'all gonna wear the struggle beads too. We gonna take it back to the essence. I used to make y'all pick every night. So we gonna take it back to the essence. Let's do it like this. All right. Which one do y'all want to wear? Please don't make this difficult. Is it the one on the left? The one in the middle? Or the one on the right? Now I'm gonna give y'all a close up so you can see them cow bones shining. You see them shining? This is the one on the right. Y'all want to wear that one? Or do y'all want to wear the one in the middle? Or do you want to wear the one on the left? Which one? What's it going to be? Once I get three votes, we're going to go ahead and put them on. All right. So Cheryl says left. TK Wright says left. If I get one more left, all right, this is the one on the left. Which one y'all want? Which one y'all want to wear? You want to like this. This is a good look. All right, some guy says left. All right, everybody said left. Boom. We're going to do the one on the left. To the left. All right, I need y'all to proverbially stick your neck out. No Diddy. Stick your neck out there. Yeah. I'm going to show y'all the ocular proof. See how we rock this thing right here. Oh, yeah, that's a good look. Look at that. Y'all looking good. Real good, Huh? Ladies, and beautiful. You're looking sweet. You're looking elegant. You're looking sexy. Brothers, you're looking suave. You're looking handsome. You're looking debonair. You know what I mean? Everybody got that shit on. They got that shit on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, baby. Yeah. So, yeah, you rock the cow bones. Can't leave it alone. Rock the cow bones when you're living at home. Rock the cow bones. Yeah, you know how we do. Yeah, it's the Daily Go Get 'em Miz and DG crew, baby. Take a screenshot. Prove so you can show and prove. I was there. 2-something in the morning. Everything good. What's up, Cheryl Halsey? Good to see me some you. Without a doubt. Without the doubt. All right, y'all. So hit a wall. Hit a wall in your progress. What do you know about hitting a wall in your progress? You could hit a wall at work. You ever been at work? And you could say that you're disinterested in your work and maybe your production is down. Hopefully it's not down to the point where your supervisors or managers or whoever your I don't want to say superiors, because some people get the wrong impression when you say that, but we all know that no matter what position we have at work or what position we hold at work, there's always somebody that is in a higher position. And we got hired because of expectations. And when you don't fulfill your expectations at your job, something happens to you. And it ain't positive. It ain't a good thing. So if you've hit a wall at work, maybe you can't think about more ways to make the company money, or make your job easier, or make your job more interesting. Shout out to the people who change jobs frequently. Maybe you're still searching for your career path. But when you hit a wall at work, maybe you feel like you're just going through the motions, following the routine. All right, I get there this time. I do this, that, and the third when I get there. Then I take my breaks, and then I come back and blah, blah, blah. And I try to ride it out. Do my 8 and skate. I said to do my 8 and skate. Yo, I do my 8 and skate. Can you relate? I'm trying to do this, get enough money to go out on a date. Speaking of the date, I don't hate. I got love for my coworker. I'm trying to I'm trying to lurk around her way, but I ain't trying to be a stalker today. Hey, but I wish she would give me some play, because I want to see her someday. And I want to see her in her street clothes instead of the uniforms. Give me something soft and warm. No harm will ever come to her, but I'm really trying to be like BBD and do her. Do me, baby. Do me, babe. Well, Anyway, you might be in a routine at the job. Jenny Yano, what up? What up? What up? Thanks for coming through. And Damian Curton says, I did my work and I'm still looking for the right one. You said I did many work and still looking for the right one? Yeah. Hitting a wall at work is something that you have to watch out for, because there can be consequences. It can have an impact on your income, directly and indirectly. Like it can have a direct effect on your income, because what if you work in an industry where you are like in sales or something like that, or you're doing some type of what do they call it? Commission work. That's the word I'm looking for. Commission. People in sales have to reinvent themselves consistently, because you may get to the point where you feel like you've exhausted all of the leads that you've had. So you may have hit a wall in the leads that are generated for you. Like if you have another service that generates the leads for you, which they call soft leads. Yeah, well, you might not hit a wall that way because the leads are being provided for you, but you still have to go out and pitch your ideas, or give your pitch and close the deals and all of that kind of stuff. But if you're doing hard calls or hard leads, whereas you got to actually go out and find somebody, knock on doors, hit them, beat the pavement, canvass the neighborhood, go to those job fairs or those seminars or those bazaars or whatever. Yeah, it could be. And you may have hit a wall on like, I done went everywhere. I done pretty much drained the swamp. I done drained the whole swamp out of the possible people that might support. So it can get like that. Jenny says, you're a very nice guy. I appreciate that. Thank you. Says, I respect you. Well, I respect you back. I do. And some guy says, I do everything from fertilized Christmas trees to hanging drywall, being an assistant clown to being an assistant clown at a carnival. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, and you know why I'm not mad at that? Because that's when you are wearing many hats like that, or you hustling, and hustlers have to be creative. They got to be creative. That's why a hustler will take any idea that you have and try to monetize it. Like, so you make candles. So you make hold on. Let me get you make candles. Let me see them joints. Oh, this shit smell good. Oh, this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna take like 50 of them to the job. Everybody gonna be scented candling. We gonna scented candle the whole shit. No soliciting at the job. I ain't read that in the policy. I'm already getting money. I'm getting money, son. Damien, you in South America? Cool. What country? What country? Oh, actually from Guyana. That's what's up. Shout out to Guyana. Peace to Guyana. I got people from Guyana. Good people in Guyana. Definitely good people in Guyana. That's what's up. I got people in Guyana. People's from Suriname. I'm with it. Some guy, you from Oregon? Wow. That's what's up. West Coast. I'm not sure if we've ever gotten anybody from Oregon on here. We kind of did. We got somebody that's somewhere between California and Oregon. I think they were born in one place, living in another place or whatever. But shout out to Oregon. Shout out to Oregon. All right. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. We a little light on the likes. Just hit the like button. No big deal. It helps the channel. The channel needs help. It helps the channel, and the channel needs help. Please hit the like button when you stroll on in, when you get comfortable. Just before you take off your hat, kick off your shoes, take off your jacket. Just, hit that little like. Hit that little like. It's not going to put you on any kind of list. I promise not to bother you. Promise. Cross my heart. Promise. Okay. TK Wright says, I wish that you were on the East Coast. I would have had work for you. Okay, that's what's up. Some guy says, hell yeah, I make my money however I can, my dude. If I ain't got no work, I scrap metal and sell handmade jewelry. Nothing like handmade jewelry. As you can see, I'm a fan. My shit right. My shit right. Definitely a fan. All right, Damien says, I know a little of almost everything from electrical, mechanic, construction, etc. Jack of all trades, master of a few of them, I imagine. Good shit. Well, that goes to show, like when you're able to explore different trades, different professions, it can keep you interested in things a lot. And it actually helps you to become smarter, because as you delve into these different professions, these different trades, these different vocations and things like that, you come up with different ideas, meeting people in the industry that do certain things in certain kind of ways, and they teach you things, you learn things, you observe things, soak it up like a sponge or whatever. That can keep you from hitting a wall in a lot of things that you do, because you've seen a lot, done a lot, experienced a lot. So you have more in your arsenal of interest than the average person might have that just goes to work, does one thing and whatever. And that's not putting down anybody's job, because anybody who's making an honest living, shout out to you, peace to you, and much respect. It's not that easy out here to make it. It's not that easy out here to make it. It's not as easy as some people might make it sound. Gandalf, what's good? Tell us your shaving routine for your head. Interestingly enough, I could direct you. I actually made a video of how, shape up the beard. I didn't do how to, listen, if you don't know how to give yourself a baldy, I don't know what to tell you. But there is a video. There is a real video that I made a few months ago about how to shave your head. I can show you. I'll show you. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, here it is. I missed it because it was the first damn video. All right, this is for anybody else curious about how to cut your beard, or how to trim your beard and shape yourself up. So now, to you, it may look like my shit is lined up right, and then I'm in good shape, but to me, it's shaved day. So I'm gonna show y'all from A to Z. So anyway, how to do this. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time with that, but it's called How to Shape Up Your Beard the Easy Way. How to shape up your beard the easy way. No edits, we doing it straight from the muscle. All right, so first, y'all get a chance, check that out. It's a good look. It's a good look. It's a good look. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, and that'll show you how to shape up your beard. It's not that hard to do. It takes practice, though. It takes practice. I didn't always know how to do it, and I didn't always know how to do it right. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. The longer you have a beard, the better you will get at it. You might mess it up a few times, but that'll help you to get better at it. Actually. What? Yeah. We have a caller on the line. Let's let him come and shine.
You have a call from
caller with the last numbers 1208. Welcome to the Daily Go Get 'Em Business Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Hey, I was just interested in today's topic because it made me think about my job.
Okay.
Yeah. So not necessarily relationship. Not that I haven't hit a wall in a relationship, but the very first thing it made me think of was my job.
Okay.
And actually my workout routine, like hitting a wall in my workout routine.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So like with my job, I'm in a pretty good position now, but there's like not a lot of room for growth. So it's like, I feel like I've hit a wall and now I have to make a decision about whether or not I'm going to stay at this job or move on to someplace else. It's like, do I just want to stay here because I'm used to it? And knowing that I can't go any further than I am right now, or like, do I want to go someplace else and give myself the chance to be a little bit more than what I am?
Okay. Okay. So, at your job, what makes you feel like you've hit a wall?
Because there's literally only one position that I could go for. As far as like, and staying in the same department.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I wanted to give myself the opportunity to have more options as far as my job and the pay scale, I would have to change departments. But if I stay in the department that I'm in and I've really been flourishing here, I would have to become the director.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you've hit a wall as far as opportunities for advancement. But have you?
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay. So, but have you hit a wall as far as the amount of money you can make. Because you know
No,
how.
I could raise every year.
Okay,
Period. Like
all right.
without, regardless of what's on my review. Yeah. So like I get a raise every July.
Well, then that's actually you're actually in a better position than some people, because some people work at a job where they have no control over how much money that they could possibly make, and they may be in a profession, in a department where the pay scale is already set. Like I've worked on some jobs where you literally had no leverage or leeway in negotiating a better salary from the time that you were hired until however long you stayed there. So when a situation like that exists, it makes me wonder, like, well, what's the use in doing a good job if nobody is going to be advanced or promoted? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, if I can't make any
Yeah.
more, if I can't move up in position, which will put me in a position to make more money, and I can't make more money at my position, why would I why would I give this company my all?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So at least
Yeah.
you're in a profession where you can make more money, and there is at least one or two more positions that you could take as far as promotion is concerned, where you might turn another corner.
Right. But for me, it's the money's important. Let me start there. But for me, it's about when I feel like I hit a wall because of mental engagement,
Mm-hmm.
not just the money. It's the level of mental engagement, the monotony that comes from doing my current job. Um, there's a monotony that comes with it at times, and so that's why I feel like I've hit a wall and I have to make a decision.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and then, like I mentioned too, with the workout, people hit walls with their workouts literally all the time. And that's one of the things I feel just from observation, I'm
Yeah.
not in anybody else's head, but from observation, I feel like that's what kills the new year, new me people.
Uh-huh. It is.
you,
It
you
is.
know, they hit a wall and then they don't know how to readjust.
Mm-hmm.
And just in general, when you hit a wall, you have to make a decision about whether or not you're going to readjust your current position or move on to a new one.
Yeah.
But with the working out, hitting a wall to me is like one of the most relatable walls to hit.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
much so that the fitness industry has thrived off of people hitting walls, fitness walls. And I myself have done it.
Yeah, I've done it too. And it's hard not to, because, when a person is not used to working out and then they first start working out, and let's say they drop that first 5 to 15 pounds, maybe 20 pounds, and they think they really got it. You know what I mean? And then they get into that routine of whatever they've been doing that made them lose the weight initially, and they may not understand that their metabolism has been sparked. So in order to lose more weight after that first rush of weight loss, of pounds that got dropped, you have to find another way to spark your metabolism. The metabolism is very habit oriented, and they adjust to whatever routine that you do. So if all you do is upper body work, your metabolism will get used to it. Like, okay, you can change your diet. And at first, when you first change your diet, metabolism is like, yo, what the hell is going on here? And it works really hard to burn the fat or to recognize what food that you're putting in it. and it can burn it really fast, but then it gets used to it, and then it gets lazy. The metabolism literally gets lazy, like, all right, I know what this shit is. And then it refuses to burn anymore. So this is something that people who even people who eat healthy have to understand. You can't just eat the same things over and over and over again and get the desired results. It doesn't work that way. The human body is a creature of habit, just like human beings are on the whole. So we look for our comfort zone. So your metabolism will look for the comfort zone of what you're doing, and then it will settle in, and you won't really get any more health gains. And you may think that something is wrong, and there's nothing wrong with you. You just have to keep switching it up. So if you are the type of person that does all upper body work, well, do upper body work for, I would say, maybe 60 days, 30 to 60 days, and then switch to all lower body work. Do that for 30 to 60 days. Then do floor exercises, 30, 60 days on that. And then maybe start to incorporate a little bit of each, the upper, the lower, or should I say, you were the upper, then the legs and the floor exercises and things like that. Maybe some more cardio, maybe some more weight training and things like that, just to throw your metabolism off. One thing that a lot of people don't try, but I know for a fact it works. If you've been working out at the gym, you just been going to the gym and doing your thing, and whether it's working out well for you or not, if you want to lose those extra pounds, do some sprints. Sprints will take those pounds the fuck up off of you. But I'm 54. I'll soon be 55 this summer. Running at our age, you better get your shit right. You got to make sure your legs are right after 40. After 40, you might still be good at 40, because at 40, there wasn't no different for me than 30 or 20, literally.
Right.
But 50 was different. Those 10 years between 40 and 50, it was like my legs was like, yeah.
You know what's interesting about sprinting? You can do it on a treadmill just 2 or 3 times a week, and it makes a huge difference as far as your breathing is concerned, as far as your metabolism is concerned. Like, at least I've noticed it's made a difference.
Yeah.
I've incorporated that into my workout routine 2 times a week, 2 or 3 times a week on average.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's made a huge difference as far as how I feel once I climb the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my house has 3 floors,
mm-hmm.
and I used to get up to the top floor and be like, and I would be winded. And I'm like, how the hell am I winded? And I work out, multiple days a week, and I'm doing, like, hefty workouts. But yeah, I started incorporating sprinting. What I do is I do like 30 or 40 seconds on where I'm just sprinting, and then 30 or 40 seconds where I'm just walking, and then I go right back into sprinting, and I do that for like 20 minutes, doing that off and on.
Yeah, I would still suggest running outside, because it's a different animal.
I can't do it. I used to play sports,
mm-hmm.
and so my knees be looking at me like, what we doing? So I have to be careful with that.
Well, this is what I was saying. As far as the running is concerned, before you decide to sprint, I would suggest you get your legs in shape first. do some squats, do some running in place. Because trust me, you ain't gonna run that fast in place. But just last week, no, the week before, I did a little bit of running in place, and I hadn't done it in a while. And I forgot that I did it. Literally. I literally forgot that I did some running in place. But my calves were on fire the next day. I could barely fucking walk. Now I've been doing squats for months, increasing the weight and all of that kind of shit. So I'm thinking like my legs are in good shape. But I didn't, you get the calves in on it. You're like, oh shit. I told, motherfuckers forgot about calves. I did. Forgot all about them. So the running in place thing will get your calves right. And if you're already doing some squats, if you don't want to run in place, I suggest you run in place. You know what I mean? But you don't have to do it a long time. The first time I did it for 2 stinking minutes. Two stinking minutes. Then I went up to 4, 5, then 7, 8, then 10. I'm currently at 10. And that's just a good warm up before you work out. But it helps your metabolism. Listen, I gotta get rid of this gut. It gotta go. I gotta go. I mean, I've always had like a little, but I gotta shave some. I gotta slice off a good piece. You know what I mean? By Thanksgiving and some shit like that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is once you get your legs in shape, then you can go outside. And the reason that I suggest that you go outside is because the treadmill can give you a false sense of security because you can do it at your own pace. You can do it at your own leisure. Many people have treadmills in their homes and stuff like that. And it'll make you think that you're really doing something. But there's a big difference between running in place and actually running. Not only that, but the mental part of running, that somebody is going to see you. And that honestly sparks your metabolism too. That little anxiety, like, yo, they're looking at me. It actually will get you. The body is a crazy ass machine. You know what I mean? It's a crazy machine that don't give a fuck about how you feel. But just the anxiety that you might feel like, Sun 752 talking about go outside and run. And you know how black people are. You might start running, and then everybody else start running because they think somebody's shooting and whatever. And this ain't even that kind of neighborhood. I'm gonna look like a fool. You ain't gonna look like no fool. You trying to get yourself in you first of all, you were talking about you hit a wall. You tell them you try not to hit a wall in your metabolism, in your workout routine. You are literally running from the wall. You know what I'm saying? But them sprints, look at the way sprinters look. Because that little run, that little, top speed run that you might have now, you ain't in your teens or 20s no more. We used to probably be able to run like a 4.340 or some shit, use a speed demon. You going to like a... You might be lucky. First of all, concentrate on making the 40 at all. That's number one. Concentrate on doing the 40-yard dash. Then, because you might not be able to do it, and it might take you 10 seconds to do it. But nonetheless, you know what I mean? Them stilts ain't the same as they used to be. On a side note, but the same note, have you ever seen that video? This video made me mad too. Where these elderly ladies decided to race.
Yeah.
It was 3 elderly ladies.
Oh, you talking about, it was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These 3 elderly ladies, challenged themselves to a race. Like, shoot. You could tell that they probably used to run back in the day and all of that. They did not prepare for this run. Them three biddies went tumbling down like bowling pins at the start. I don't think they made it 10 yards. I don't think they went tumbling down. They looked so hurt. I was like, yeah, people laughing. I'm like, you don't know how much damage those ladies falling could have done to them. You know what I mean? Like, them bones don't repair as fast. That little 6 to 8 weeks that it used to take to repair bone.
Yeah.
Shit, it might take them 6 to 8 months. Fuck out of here.
Listen.
Not only that, it could mess up all kind. That shit. Man. But every time I saw that video, I was like, this shit ain't. Who let them ladies run? Who let them do that shit? The way they fell, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? They fuck around and got diabetes, heart problems, lacerated kidneys and shit. All because of their little run. Like they ain't had none of that shit going on. Like they done fucked up. They broke everything. Broke everything. Didn't even get 5 yards. They didn't get 5 yards off the starting gate. I was like, and I knew it. I saw it coming. I was like, they not ready to do this. They are not. Why did y'all let these ladies? They must have been drinking. Bitch, I'll outrun you. You can't watch. Come on, we can do it now. Mm-hmm. They did it now.
But I know you're talking, like you're giving good advice as far as when I'm outside. I really don't give a shit about people looking at me outside. I have to condition myself to where I feel confident that my knees aren't going to buckle down and I'm going to fall while running through the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, I'm using sprinting on the treadmill to help boost my metabolism. I incorporate it into my workouts to help boost my metabolism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, we when we're talking about hitting a wall or trying not to hit one or trying to, move the wall back after we have hit it, mm-hmm. I'm just giving out some ideas of how you can do it. Most people will not do the whole sprinting thing. And that's the reason I brought it up. Because when all else, once you've gone through all of your other progressions and you still hit a wall, shoot, try the sprinting thing. Because it's going to work. It's going to get that metabolism back. Now that sprint is it's going to hurt everything on your body. You're going to be wondering, like, why do my fingernails fucking hurt over this sprint? I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing to hurt my fingernails. My eyelashes hurt. What's going on? But
that's the realest.
You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers heavy as shit. Like, yo, what the fuck?
Why my earlobes throbbing?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yo, that was earbud. That was earbud malfunctions and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that sprint, it's gonna shake up it's definitely gonna mix the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. It's gonna shake up all that shit.
So I didn't really know how to answer your poll question because
okay, let's go to the poll question.
Hitting a wall in a relationship for me it's not about whether or not I've lost interest in you. Like, it takes a lot for me to lose interest in somebody. Like, if I'm in a relationship with you, I only get in a relationship with people I find interesting. So it's not like, that's not my issue. I have hit a wall before because I felt like the person wasn't as invested as I was, to the point where, I realized that I would take care of them, as we got older, but they wouldn't take care of me. And so for me, I felt like we hit a wall. And there was like there was in their choices, there wasn't a choice for like having a conversation with that person, not just suggesting counseling, but communication with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I communicate with you like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is where I feel like we are, and then you're like, you shrug it off or you don't think it's a big deal, we've hit a wall now.
Okay.
We've hit a wall. Um, you know, because I don't just want somebody to blow my back out. I want a full on companion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so uh, that's important to me. So there've been a couple of times where I felt like, well, this is not going to go in the direction that I needed to, not necessarily want, but needed to.
Yeah. See, the thing about hitting a wall in your relationship, um, for a lot of people, it may signal the end. Not everybody looks at hitting the wall or the expectations that people have in a relationship in the same way. Where you may look at your relationship having hit a wall, and where you may have to do make some types of adjustments. Somebody else may look at their relationship hitting a wall as the wall might be an immovable force. Like, this is as far as we can go, because maybe they don't find their partner interested anymore. Some people look at relationships like it's when it's all good in the beginning and you really don't know each other that well, and you're still in the getting to know each other phase, which can actually last for years. Well, when one of those people in a relationship feels like the swamp has been drained, or let's not say swamp. Let's say the pool. The pool has been drained. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I have this Olympic-sized swimming pool, but I've swam it. I've done all the laps that I can in here. You know what I mean? Like, I've swam in this pool when it was a heated pool. I've swam in it when it was cold. I've swam in it. I've been pushed in the pool unexpectedly. There were times when I had to clean the pool. There were times, whatever. And for some people, they may have gotten bored with the person that they're with. So that's the wall that they've hit. Like, when they can no longer learn anything about their partner or from their partner, from their perspective. And now they're thinking that, well, I can't go any farther with this person because I can't grow any farther with this person. And that may just be their perspective, but you know, how can you tell a person how to feel about a situation that they are in? And they may be having these feelings. So the list that I put up, they may be feeling one of these options on this list, and they may be feeling another option that's not even there. These are just the ones I thought of. So when we say, what would you do if you became disinterested in a relationship? Now, for my purposes, that's hitting a wall in a relationship. Like, when you become disinterested. Now, somebody else may look at it like, well, no, that's not the wall I'm talking about. Because for some people, like for option 2, when they say, I would try to spice it up in some kind of way, and that appears to be the heaviest answer, the most chosen answer on out of the 4 options. Now, I'm thinking that people are probably thinking more of a sexual nature when they talk about spicing things up. Okay, now, so for the people who would say that they would try to spice things up, if you're talking about spicing things up physically, you may be able to do that, especially if you have a willing partner. Maybe they want to spice things up too. So you could try new things, new positions, maybe start watching porn together if you don't do that already. Hopefully you don't start doing anything unhealthy, like maybe introducing another person into your relationship, because of this, plenty of people have done that, the whole threesome thing. And from what I know, and I'm only speaking from what I know, it never helps a relationship. It just doesn't. It normally goes, it normally serves to confuse things and kind of downgrade the feelings that people may have held for each other, and it can also have it can trust can take a big hit when you start introducing somebody else into your bedroom. And I don't care how freaky one or both of you are. It just from what I've known, it just hasn't helped. But I mean, if that's what you feel like you need to do, I mean, what can I say? There have been plenty of things that I've seen not work out too well, but they working for somebody. Things like Donald Trump. But anyway,
You
so
know what?
sorry.
I think that people go into the date on into the dating scene with relationship expectations rather than dating expectations, and then they
Oh
get
yeah.
into a relationship and then they have dating expectations for their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest thing, and I feel like that's why some people hit walls. When you're in an actual relationship, whether it's um, a marriage or like that's your significant other. You've been together for some time, and you guys have made a commitment to each other. You have to leave room for growth. So that's why, for me, not being interested in the other person is not on the table for me, because for me, I understand that there's room for growth um, with both of us. You
Yeah.
know, uh, no matter how long you've been together, people change. Uh, People change their habits. People change their looks. There's always something new to learn about your mate, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. You
Yeah.
know, if both of you are working along the same lines.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if one person is becoming physically disinterested, then that's the wall that they hit. But the other person may not have a problem with the physical part of it. You know what I mean? They may have more problems with the mental or emotional part of it. So that wall in a relationship, there can be two sides of the wall, and you're going to have to join them together in some kind of way if you're going to fix it. So if, let's say, one person in a relationship has hit a wall that's a physical wall. So maybe they went to the toy store and got some toys to play with, and that was their way of fixing the wall or knocking down the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the other person is like, okay, yeah, that was great. Yes, 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 yes. We've come to an agreement. We've come to an agreement. That's great. But they might be concentrating on a different wall. Maybe they need more. Maybe they need more attentiveness. Maybe they need more mental stimulation. Maybe they need more love. Maybe they need more affection. So
Mm-hmm.
this person over here is like, yo, didn't we almost have it all? And the other person is like, look, nigga, you know what I mean? We've been fucking for years, but I mean, we need something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, read me a fucking bedtime story. And I'm not even bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? Um, do you know how many people out here have never had anybody read to them? Like, these are certain things that you might not think about a lot. But you're like, me ain't nobody ever read to you. Like, nobody didn't. Uh, well, you know some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but that might be the thing that might put the train back on the track, or might knock down these walls. You gotta bring down these walls. It ain't always the sugar walls that got to be adjusted. Sometimes it might be like a firewall. Like, yo, I can't get to this website, man. The firewalls prevent me keep getting the site, son. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go to Pornhub, but they ain't let me go that motherfucker. Me was going on shit. I knew I shouldn't have used my work laptop for this shit. But anyway.
I don't know. I think that people sometimes are too rigid, and that's why they hit a wall. They don't leave room for growth. Uh, they don't understand that relationships should be malleable, and um, because people are growing and changing,
Mm-hmm.
because due to whatever's going on in your lives, or not going on in your lives.
Mm-hmm.
So these days, I just don't feel, I don't see it. I don't see the trend uh, of grace, giving each other grace, and so people are hitting walls way faster than we used to back in the day.
Mm.
They hit a wall and they're on to the next thing, and then they're wondering why they're single or why their relationships aren't panning out the way um, that they want them to.
Well, you know what? I'm interesting that you should say that because the the number one answer, not in terms of the one that was chosen, but the first option on the poll was I would break up with the person. I think that's
That's what
interesting.
most people are doing these days.
Yeah, but at least it wasn't the most chosen answer as far as this poll is concerned. Now this is just 23 votes now. If it grows, we will see how it turns out. But if you think about what drives a person to say that they would break up with the person is probably because when they think about hitting a wall, they think about that being the end by the time they get to the wall. Like I'm thinking that, you see the wall before you get all the way up to it, right? But maybe in their mind or their makeup, they're thinking that, by the time I see the wall, it's already too late. Maybe you have been resisting getting to the wall for a while, but you got there and now you can't, you know what I mean? You can't draw a door on it like a cartoon and walk through it, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So so um now I'm thinking that people are probably thinking that, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm thinking that people are probably thinking about it in terms of, well, yeah, because if I hit a wall in my relationship or I became disinterested, I mean, because I have to take into consideration the way I put it. It says, what would you do if you became disinterested in a relationship? And people are probably thinking that I don't want to cheat. So what I'll do is I'll break up with the person because I'm not interested anymore. How do you gain interest in somebody that you become uninterested in or disinterested in? Like you were interested before, and then something happened over time to make you become disinterested. And I'm thinking that disinterest is probably, and please help me out with this. If you have an answer, disinterest may be a stronger determining factor to break up than anger. You know what I mean? Some people break
Yeah,
up with you. Yeah.
these days, yes,
So you think that people feel like they can come back from anger, but from disinterest, like,
yes, yes. First of
uh,
all, toxicity seems to be a trend over this
mm,
last 10 or 15 years, and
there's that.
people, at least this is what they're showing, on social media. What people do in their real lives is often very different. But even from those that I've talked to, them not being mentally engaged in their relationship, whatever that means to them, has been the cause of them moving on to someone else. They're like, oh, this person's boring me right now. Oh, this person's not doing what I want them to do. And then they just, they're cheating or they're ending the relationship and moving on to the next one.
Yeah. Mm. Disinterest. Wow. You know, coming from a comedy background, it's worse. Like I would actually I would rather the crowd boo than to just not give any reaction at all.
That's silence. Oh my god!
Like, look,
That's silence.
throw tomatoes. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But do not
making beats on the table. Something.
Yo.
Anything other than silence. That is the worst.
Yo, for a comic, when they just stand there and stare at you like, why the fuck? Like, this is the profession you chose? Like, hold on, let me get this straight. Hold up, nigga. You was at home, you thought of this shit, and you actually came out to do that. Like that. Well, what's that comedian online that says, I'ma just look at you? I'ma just look at you. What's his name?
Oh, I don't know.
He used to do a lot of little short videos or whatever. I haven't seen any of his videos in a minute. But anyway, yeah, he'd be like, yeah, we just gonna look at you. I'ma just look at you. Like, yeah, that's how you be feeling. So yeah, I can understand how disinterest could probably put all of the, as Queen Monica put it, all the cancel culture vibes into the relationship. Like, yo, this gotta go. Like, because disinterest might even mean that you don't like the person anymore.
Well, my thing is, if you're disinterested, make it interesting. You know how many times that person might say, oh, he's boring, he's this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, did you tell him what you want to do? No, he should know. He should know. Because apparently we're all mind readers, and it's like, what do you mean they should know? You ask for what you want. Sometimes you have to teach people what you like. We're not talking about, this for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about relationships. We're not talking about dating. You're in a relationship with this person. You should be able to communicate what it is that's lacking, what it is that you need, what it is that you want, and what's going to keep the party going.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, then perhaps you're the problem.
Well,
did I get too serious?
No, because I'm thinking about it like they could be looking at the situation like, if I have to make you be interesting, maybe it's just really not interesting. Like, that's
I don't.
Well,
you should be able to verbalize what it is that you want and need.
Okay, so how do you tell a person that you need them to be more interesting?
You don't say it like that. You don't have to think about it. You say, hey, listen, I like to do these things. Like, I like to travel. My boyfriend, if he doesn't seem to like to travel as much as I do, but I say, like, I verbalize that, let's try this. Why don't we go here? And, either he's going to rock with it or he's not. And, I have to make a decision about whether or not I'm going to go by myself or try to get him to do it. I don't give up that easily or lose interest that easily once I'm in a relationship. But, it wouldn't be because I didn't tell him. You don't just say, I don't find you interesting. First of all, why are you in a relationship with someone that you don't find interesting? You have to have found them interesting at some point.
Yeah, but they may have burned out in your eyes. So
then that's you.
Well, maybe I don't know if that means that it's you, because I'm not thinking about it from my perspective. I'm trying to think about it from the perspective of a person that doesn't find another person interesting. When I
say that's you, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying that.
No. I know what you meant, but okay. But what I'm saying is, from that person's perspective, they're thinking like, okay, like you brought up the whole thing with the travel. Okay, so I might travel with this person. I might find the places that we go interesting, but not the person that I'm going with. That doesn't mean that they're interesting. We can go to art, we can go to museums, we can go to exhibits, we can go to shows, we can go to open air places like national parks and things like that. Yes, those things will be interesting. Does that mean that the person that I'm going with is interesting?
It's not just the person you're going with. It's the person you're in a relationship with. And I don't think that you should be in a relationship with a person that you do not find interesting.
Right.
I don't think that it should progress to that point if you don't have the ability to find them interesting.
Right. But
and if you don't have the ability that once you reach a plateau, so to speak, you don't have the ability to readjust. Not in a relationship. If you're dating somebody or just getting to know somebody, that's one thing. But once you've committed to each other, you owe it to yourself and them to find a workaround. Like I don't know. I don't even let things progress past a certain point unless I know, like I've already learned for myself that you are interesting to me, and you're interesting enough to me and for me to keep it going.
Okay.
Period. So in my mind, I can't. Like I'm having a problem seeing why you would not just make some adjustments and also communicate with that person. Hey,
Okay.
I really want to do this. I really want to try this. Well, why don't we try this? Why don't we? What do you think about this? Find out what they think about whatever it is that they're not like you want to do that they're not doing, because maybe they have like a mental block. So in one of my last relationships, my last relationship, the person liked to go on cruises, and they would ask me all the time, like, let's go on a cruise, let's go on a cruise. And I was like, nope. And that was an issue for them. But they never asked me why. They never asked me why. It wasn't until after we were no longer together. We're still really good, like we're really good friends. It wasn't until after we were no longer together that there was a discussion about why I said no. Then once they found it out, they were like, all that time, I was like, oh, she's boring, she's this, that, and the other. She doesn't want to do anything. I was like, I literally have traveled the world. So why wouldn't you try to, delve a little further and find out why I didn't want to go on the cruise? And then it's my own fear, as far as like the water and.
Mm-hmm. I don't see why. I don't see how a person couldn't have figured that out. Planes and boats. You know what I mean? You don't normally have to. When somebody's resistant to that, you don't normally have to look too far to find out exactly why. It ain't normally the food. But anyway, but I'm getting back to this whole interested thing, because the question is, what would you do if you became disinterested in a relationship? Now, the way I wrote it had a lot to do with how many characters they will allow you to put up there. But had I been able to use more characters, I would have wrote, what would you do if you became disinterested in a person that you were in a relationship with? Right. Now, when I think about how a person is interested in somebody, if I use an example, like maybe if a woman became interested in a man because maybe she saw that he was handsome, maybe he was a hard worker, he seemed to be a decent person, and things like that. Okay, so maybe he's the type that worked in a trade that she didn't know anything about. Maybe like in a foundry shop or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I've never known anybody who did foundry, like I knew about welding and masonry and electricity and automotive and all that kind of stuff. But I never knew anybody who worked in foundry. All right, so you found out what he did and he was good at it or whatever. She found that interesting because she had never known anything like it. Like she had never known anything about that profession or whatever. So that sparked her interest. And, he was diligent, went to work every day, did his shit, made a decent salary. Maybe he liked to go to the bar or happy hours after work for a couple of hours, have a couple of drinks, bust it up with his friends or whatever, on some norm from Cheers shit. And, he came home, he was pretty faithful and stuff like that. Because that was different than the guys that she had dealt with before, because maybe they were all over the place or whatever. Maybe his light burned out to her because she realized, like, wow, yeah, that was interesting in the beginning because I didn't know anything about it, but he's not giving me any new material. So it literally is the same thing every day. And it's like, okay, so if that person is not coming up with anything new for you to be interested in with them, like they're not buying anything new, they're not doing anything new. Basically, in the months or the years that you've known them or been with them, they pretty much stayed the same. That may have been that could be a way that you became disinterested in a person because they're really not giving you anything more than what you already knew. And you may be a cerebral person to the point where you need mental stimulation and you're dealing with somebody who's not really into that. They're more of the meat and potatoes type, and you may be more of the, so what was the last book you read?
That's interesting. That's odd that you would say that because that's literally happened to me before. But that's something that I learned and while dating the person, and that's what made me not go into a relationship with them. And when they asked why not, why can't we progress into a full on relationship, I was very honest. We're just, we don't work along the same lines. And I pause because we don't have to work along the exact same lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to be mentally stimulated, and I like you're not. We're no. So we definitely hit a wall, but I did communicate what, where, why, who, what, when, all of that, so that he didn't walk away not knowing. And I didn't want him to not be himself and try to change just because I wanted him to read books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the bottom line is you may have needed mental stimulation. Now,
but that was during the dating process, and that's why I was saying earlier. Once you're how do you get to the relationship portion without knowing that this cat was boring, or that this guy didn't like to read books, or he didn't like to, he wasn't going to mentally stimulate you. You have to. How did you not learn that during the dating process? And how long was your dating process?
Yeah, well,
if you're just jumping straight into a relationship, you haven't given yourself enough time to learn that person's not going to stimulate you in the ways that you need and want.
Okay, now you say in the dating process, like you saying you dated somebody and but you didn't get into a relationship. Do you realize that for a lot of people, dating is a relationship?
Yeah, and that's why I do realize that.
Okay, so for them, so they're already there. Like to you, dating is what it is. Like, okay, we just sort of seeing each other, here and there. We haven't really we haven't jumped any brooms. for a lot of people, the dating part, like shit, if you take me somewhere, we together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
If you hold my hand,
yo,
Chuck, if you hold my hand, Chuck, that it is what it is. You slide dog.
yo, don't lie. My homegirl just told this guy, he's like, if you kiss me, like we go together. I'm like, you have known this man 2 weeks. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Niggas
But
is
that's
getting
part of
married
the
out over
problem,
2 weeks,
son.
man. We niggas is getting married. It's the social media in the social media age.
Oh my
2 weeks.
God.
I
That's the
studied. I studied
problem.
their profile for 48 hours. 2 weeks. That was shit. We've been together for years.
When you don't take time to vet the other person, then you can potentially put yourself in a position to be in a full fledged relationship where you lose interest in the person rather than being flexible and willing and open and willing to learn what you guys can do to keep it going.
Okay, now I'm thinking about the disinterest in terms of you have you have learned just about all there is to learn about a person. You're talking
How?
about
People change.
what? Well,
People change.
I'm saying if you've been with them long enough to see the changes. I'm not talking about. I wasn't talk. I was talking the example that I gave about the microwave society that we live in. That's
Yeah.
not what I was initially talking about. I was just saying how a lot of people are into that. As far as this topic that we're talking about tonight, I'm talking about when you've been with a person for a good while and you really you're probably disinterested or hit a wall because you really do know them. You've been with them long enough to see like no, ain't nothing changing. Because when you really think about it, if you haven't known a person for a long time, you're not going to get disinterested in them because you don't see them doing anything interesting. You may be more angry at them because you feel like they're changing all the time. Like you see, uh, when you don't know a person for a long time, it's hard to lose interest in them because they as they start to show you who they are, you think that they're changing because they're giving you something different than what you started what initially interested in you in the first place. So you hear people who've only known each other for anywhere from 2 weeks to a half a year talking about some they started changing, they switched up on me. And like, no, you just didn't fucking know them. But it ain't because they became disinterested in them. It's because they became pissed at him. Like, yo, what is this shit? No, it ain't that it's boring. It's just that it's fucking dangerous, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? So I'm talking about in the long term, like couples that have been together 2, 3, 4, 5 years or plus, whether you're married or not, and you see like, well, once we really did get to know each other, that person plateaued, and now it's straight. You ain't seeing none of this. There's no ascension. There isn't even any dipping. This shit this shit is like the stock market wants it to be. Very predictable. Very
Mm.
predictable. But even the stock market goes up when things are predictable. So that's what I'm talking about mostly. Now everybody won't look at it that way, and that's cool. But if you're talking about being disinterested in somebody, it's hard to be disinterested in somebody that you don't know. It's easier to be disinterested in somebody that you know well because you when you can pretty much calculate exactly what they're going to do, what the routine is. Yeah. Now that's if you don't like the routine. If you like the routine, all right, cool. Yeah, I can rock with this. Maybe for the rest of my life. If you don't like the routine, it's like so. Oh, okay. So you just going to keep flipping the channels on a remote.
Oh God, I hate that.
Yeah, that type of thing. You know. So yeah. Um. So I mean, it can play out for different in different ways with different people. But I was just saying, in the interest of how I wrote the show up, I was thinking more in terms of people who really do know each other. And that's how they hit the wall, because they like, yo, this, it really may be time to break up with this person because I'm not feeling them. Like, yeah, all that shit was cool in the beginning, but this ain't it. This ain't it. You know, like, you know, how it might have been exciting, you know, dealing with somebody that smoked weed or whatever. Maybe it was like, wow, you know, shit, you started smoking weed with them. After a while, you're like, I don't want to do this shit all the time. And that person is still going full speed ahead, straight pothead. And you're like, what kind of shit? Yeah, it ain't that it's disinteresting, but you're like, nah, this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. Like, you fail a drug test at
what
work.
you were trying to say. I definitely understood what your goal was, like the direction you were going in. I'm just saying that these days people don't take the time to really to vet people and to get to know them, and they are just closed minded as far as being um, willing and able to learn the other person. The people are not, they don't communicate well, if at all, and that's what causes the problems to me.
Yeah.
That's why I said that the issue is them, not the other person. A lot of the time, you know, the same girl that I was telling you about, you know, who told the guy, if you kiss me, we go together. You know, she lost interest in somebody because she was like, oh, you know, I can't see him being willing to try whatever it was. It obviously be rolling my eyes to even remember what the hell the example was. But I'm like, did you ask him if he would try it? Well, no, I can just tell. No, you can't.
Well, how long has she known him?
What'd you say?
How long has she known him?
Oh, it's two different guys. So she had been talking to him probably like a month.
See, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't that. You don't know nobody after no month.
No, you really don't.
So that I don't think that's disinterested. Now, she may have become disinterested in him.
You were talking about earlier.
Well. Let me explain it this way. That qualifies as being disinterested, but that disinterested is more cloaked in what I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, because she never got it. So that interested. It's like when somebody told you when you was in middle school or high school, yo, tell such and such, you know, I'm interested. You know, that basically that's asking somebody if they are attracted to you. You know, do you think I'm cute or whatever? You know what I'm saying? But that's not the interest that we're talking about today. We're talking about long-term interest. You know what I mean? Like after you've already been together, not just the, all right, yeah, well, you're interested, I'm interested. Let's go out and you know, and let's go to my favorite hot dog cart. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real, you've been together for a while, like you know each other well, and you know, y'all been through a lot of the motions and shit. And yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. I just that I want people to think or like really and internalize the fact that some of them who might be listening are not thinking long term, like their minds haven't shifted in order to be able to get to the point where it's a long term conversation. A lot of people who might be listening are relating to this when it hasn't been a long term thing because they're not able to get to that point. So I understood your goal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the reality of the way relationships are going these days. A lot of people they're not in position to even be able to relate to a long term conversation about being disinterested.
Yeah.
That you I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but
I do.
Yeah.
I do. You know, I mean, there's some people who can't make it past the honeymoon stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like because they're looking for that They're looking for basically the quick excitement thing. You know?
Instant gratification.
Yeah. Well, those people are a little immature, in my opinion, because they're not built for the long term. So it may be years before they emotionally settle down. You know, before they get their expectations in order. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, if you're looking for a clown, you may not be looking for somebody who's silly, but you may be looking for somebody that's going to entertain you all the time. That's what clowns are for. You know what I mean? So in your mentality, you may be looking for that. I need somebody who's going to entertain me all the time. And I'm not the type of person that can just sit silently for a while. Like, look, dead space for a whole 20 seconds. You know what I mean? You know, it could be some shit going on, but we have to take those types of people and those types of situations into consideration because it be like that.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, when it is a long-term relationship or marriage, and you know that you've become disinterested, do you feel as if the disinterested party has an obligation to try to fix it before disengaging?
I don't like the word obligation because I feel like people can do whatever they want to do. However, I think as a courtesy and as a respect that they should, you know what I mean? It's like it's like at your job, before you quit, you should give 2 weeks notice, but you don't have to. You know, you live in an at-will state, and before they fire you, they don't give you 2 weeks notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but wait a minute. So let's go back to the word obligation.
Okay.
I feel when it's a long-term relationship or a marriage, there is an obligation. You've intertwined. You both have made the choice to intertwine your lives to a point. Well, to a point when it's long-term relationship, but definitely when it's a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't know. When you make a commitment to somebody, there is a level of obligation there.
Okay.
Yes, you can do whatever you want, but commitment is commitment.
You're right.
And so
you're right.
Like, don't you owe it to yourself and that other person to try to figure it out before disengaging, just because you're going through a phase of being disinterested. And I do believe that long-term relationships, sometimes they don't all go through a phase where somebody one or both may become disinterested. Not everybody goes through that, you know. But sometimes it does happen, and I just don't think that disengagement should be the go-to. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Okay. Like when I said I didn't like the word obligation, is because when you really feel like you need to do something, you might feel like you need to do it. So agreements are broken all the time, contracts are broken all the time. And these things happen. Now, not that this is a direct comparison, but just consider this. You were married to a person. Maybe y'all were married for years, but it was a toxic relationship. Very toxic. Maybe even to the point of being abusive. Do you owe it to your partner? Do you owe it to your spouse to let them know that you're about to get the fuck on up out of there? Or should you just make that move? Now, you have to consider that telling your partner that you about to jet or that you want to separate or whatever, that could actually cause you bodily harm. It could be dangerous for you. It could be very unhealthy. But you are married, right? So there's an obligation to let them know, right?
Are you asking?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you think you should still let them know?
Well, I've called them before, so you know I've actually been through that. So, and because we talked about it on the show before, I absolutely said what's happening is not healthy mentally or physically. Let's try to get counseling. Um, I was in a marriage, so it wasn't like it wasn't just a long term relationship. Uh, I don't know if I would have just bolted if it was a long term relationship rather than a marriage. But if I can only speak from having been in that situation in a marriage. And so because it was a marriage, I definitely communicated that like this is an issue. Even if the abuse is not an everyday issue, it's an issue that needs to be it needs to stop. And I wanted to go to counseling. He didn't want to go to counseling. This is not healthy for me. I don't have the intentions on staying in this relationship if this is not going to stop. And if therapy isn't going to be sought. So did that put me in a position where something could have escalated? Yes, it did. I also had children watching how certain things played out. They didn't necessarily see everything, but they saw enough. Um, but I made the choice to actually communicate and verbalize what wasn't healthy for me and for wasn't healthy for us in our relationship.
Yeah, I just think that there are levels to this thing. When somebody is mistreating you consistently and habitually, I don't think you owe them shit. And no, I'm not making that announcement. I'm the fuck up out of here. You find out in my absence. But I'm not going to put myself in a position where I could potentially hurt myself farther or put you in a position.
Oh yeah,
where you.
yeah.
So,
I don't know that I think that if I had thought that he would have gone an extra step, I would not have said anything at all.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm just
Because some
I'm
people are in abusive relationships where their partner is willing to be on the
plenty
first
of people
48.
have died over this
Yeah,
shit. And that's
but
what
yeah, I
but
wasn't
that's
going to
why
say
I
you were.
challenge the word obligation.
Okay.
You're not obligated to do anything except
Okay.
and unfortunately some people didn't even feel obligated to keep themselves safe. You know what I mean? You don't always have to there are different modes of integrity. And you don't always owe somebody else the integrity of their expectation. You don't always owe them that. So that's why, I challenge the word obligation. Now, getting back to the subject. Um, Now the other options, people said they would try to spice it up in some kind of way. This 12% said they would suggest and seek counseling. Okay, now you said that the problem might be with the person who is disinterested, and maybe they are looking within themselves to find out where their disinterest is coming from. I don't really think it should be hard to know where your disinterest comes from, just like you may not have to know where your interest is coming from. But yeah, I'm a big proponent of counseling, therapy, and all of that shit. But if you really know that you don't find a person interesting, but you still want to save the relationship, great. Counseling is a good thing. If you don't want to be with a person anyway, like option one, I would break up with the person. Why spend extra money? And I get it on one end because people don't want, back to the integrity piece. People don't want to seem like they just bailed out on somebody. I get it. But how diabolical is it to set up your exit when you know goddamn well there's no way you're going to make this train reach its destination other than to get up out of this situation?
For real.
So yeah, I'm going to let you know what's going on, how I'm feeling. I'm going to suggest that we go to counseling. We even going to go see the pastor and all this old other shit, when you know goddamn well the real problem is I ain't feeling you. How about that? You know what I mean? All the feelings that I had before are gone. You just don't do it for me no more. But I don't want to seem like the bad guy. So I'm gonna do all this other shit. And so I can justify getting a 10 when I was already at 9 in the first place. So I'm gonna pretend that I was at 2 when I was at 9.
Yeah, it's like somebody asked me how are you, just so they could say that they ask how are you. I ask how you are, but they don't really care how you are. Yeah, I know what you mean. I still go back to, I'm not getting in a relationship with somebody who I'm not. I don't know. I work off of chemistry, and how we vibe mentally. So I can't. I don't know. I just can't imagine being in a relationship with somebody where I just say the blanket, yeah, I'm not really feeling you anymore. I'm not really feeling you anymore.
Yeah, well, some things probably shouldn't be verbalized, but if you feeling the person or not, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, well, how can I make you feel me? Here's this Ronald McDonald uniform, this little costume. That was close to Halloween. So I don't know, man. Yeah, this is it's not I'm glad we're having this conversation, because it's not as easy as a lot of people may try to make it out to be. This whole disinterested thing, it can run deep. It's hard to get that. It's like when somebody is cheated on you and you know it, and you really don't suspect that they're going to fix it, and so you like, I'm saving this for who? It's almost like you saving it for the other person, because you already know that the trust is blown. Like this, you can't get this shit back, especially if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't even show interest in trying to get you to trust them again. They really just looking for the green light to do whatever the fuck they was doing anyway. How about you just stop catching me?
That one's tricky, because what if the person cheated on you in the beginning of your relationship? What if it's not like you've been with them a long time, but you know that they cheated, and either you've told them that or maybe you didn't tell them that you know.
Well, the fucked up part about that is, for some people, unfortunately, some people keep their interest because of cheating. Like they will spend all of their time trying to stop a person from cheating on them. I'm sure you've seen people do this shit. Like, I'm going to stop you from cheating. I'm going to catch you so many times that you're going to just feel bad and stop doing it.
You want to stop telling my business. Oh, my God.
You're going to stop copying off of people I know. That's what you're going to do. You know what I mean?
No, my ex-husband was a cheater. I was like, and there were no amount of tears or heartbreak from myself or our children that was going to stop him. He did what the hell he wanted to do. So that was that. But there is something, if you really love somebody, where you're like, they'll see because you believe that the other person loves you too. That they'll see that the hurt and pain, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, I don't want the person that I love to be feeling like that. Let me stop." No, that's bullshit. That people, if somebody's gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. That's it. That realization is a hard pill to swallow. Let me just say. But yeah, sometimes you might know that somebody cheated early in the relationship, and you hold on to that, and the other person doesn't know that you know that they cheated, and then maybe you become disinterested. I've seen that happen, not necessarily with me, but with other people. Well, specifically my guy friends, they know that the girl cheated, like there was some crossover or whatever in the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah.
And then by the time she's completely in with them, he's still he's still thinking about the fact that she saw her walking in the rain. I'm glad you got the reference.
Shit is rad.
But, the R.G. Jones about it. But it's like he never fully got over that, even though he knows, hey, they were only dating for a month or whatever, or 2 months. He never really got over it, and now all of a sudden he's disinterested, and she doesn't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships are complicated, or can be. I should say are. They can be complicated.
They can be. They definitely can be. It's a lot that goes into this shit. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into it. How you
respond to it, though.
Yeah.
How do you rise or fall? When these twists and turns come, it's a choice on both parts.
I'm going to say this, and this is not going to be popular. One thing about that Diddy, I'm sure that Cassie was always interested in what Diddy was doing. He, for what it was worth, he kept the interest. She better not take her eyes off his ass. You know what I'm saying? So, say what you will. You know what I mean? But one thing he wasn't was boring. You gonna take that out of the list of options that he could be. Let's see. It's dangerous, toxic, an asshole, narcissistic, crazy, boring. This she needs crazy.
Never been boring.
You ever been to one of his parties?
I don't like him. He doesn't like me. But damn it, he's never been boring.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. One thing about crazy motherfuckers, you ain't gonna say that you was disinterested. You're like, you may not be interested in all that crazy shit no more, but it ain't that you think it's boring. Like, yo, that shit right there is a fucking Arabian carpet ride to hell. Right there.
Man,
you know?
Diddy keeps you on your toes, figuratively and literally.
Woo! So yeah.
Baby also toes. But you on them toes.
I'm gonna find out if Ness feels like that he escaped Diddy. I think I'm gonna inbox you like, yo, Ness. I know people probably still ask you about the whole cheesecake run thing, you know what I mean? But listen, you know what I mean? Shit. In the grand scheme of things, you would have much rather have walked to Brooklyn to get the cheesecake than all that other shit, right? You know what I mean? Really, you won. You know what I mean? You may not have known you was winning at the time, but shit, that was pretty much your victory lap.
He knew he was winning.
Man,
you just have to trust me on it. You just have to trust me on it.
I'm going to trust you on that. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. But yeah,
Sean didn't hide that he had wilding out ways. So when I tell you he knew he was winning.
Listen, when I first heard him yelling on Biggie records, I was like, It's like, because you listen to the shit he was yelling about, I was like, interesting. Interesting, yeah. Like, and I ain't gonna front, he had a point. And the shit he was saying, I was like, to yell that at the top of your lungs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something there. This motherfucker is not grace under fire. It's just fire. It's just fire. It is what it is. A fire with accelerant. It's going down. But listen, man, we gotta get on up out of here.
Yep, I just looked at the time, and I was about to say, if it's 4 o'clock, I have learned from listening to you and Troy that at 4 o'clock, everything turns back into a pumpkin. So
I
I want to thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate you calling. I'm coming through. I appreciate the conversation and the discourse. I really do. Funny thing is, there have been plenty of times during this show because I've hit many walls during this show. Many walls. It's not easy coming up with new material every day, and you know what I mean, and playing around with the algorithm and shit like that.
I think you do a great job, honestly. I think you should have way more people in your life.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but it's been the times where I was in those valleys that I really felt like I hit the wall. Like, well, maybe the run is over. You know what I mean? But then something could happen, and then I start peaking again, and so after a while, you start to. Well, what keeps me interested in this thing is that there are always new people coming through, different perspectives. Even some of the trolls are interesting. You know what I mean? They're not boring, that's for sure. But trying to figure this whole thing out, trying to figure out this algorithm thing, it takes up a lot of my mental time. Like, what the fuck is that? How do you work it? And nobody seems to know exactly. Everybody has clues, and sometimes those clues work, and other times they fall flat on their face. And so I think one of the things that keeps me interested is trying to figure out exactly how this thing works. How do some people consistently have hundreds of thousands of views and millions of subscribers or followers and stuff like that? It ain't an easy thing, but they figured out something, and they're not willingly showing nobody else how to do it. They can't all have done it by luck or just by chance. You know what I mean? So I'll keep my nose to the ground. You know what? I'm gonna call my man Jason. You know what I mean? Because he knows a lot about this shit. You know what I mean? He probably has a secret right there, like right there in the chat. I'm gonna text him.
Well, don't forget your birthday shout out.
Oh no, I ain't really gonna forget that. You know what I mean? No, nobody gets away with that. Only way that happens is if we don't do the show. But yeah, thanks so much for coming through. Appreciate you.
No problem. I'll talk to you over the weekend.
All right. You have a good one. All right.
You too, man.
All right. This is what we gonna do. This is what a guan. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 22nd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. Well, it seems as though May 22nd is the late, great, notorious B.I.G.'s birthday. May you rest in peace, continue to rest in peace. I always think it's funny when people say, continue to rest in peace, as if we have any kind of way of, ensuring that or, what I mean, looking after that. Tell you what, I pray for you. All right, anyway. Number one out the box amongst the living is China English. Happy birthday to you. And also Denise Reed. and Gloria McFeld. I'm sorry, McField. I'm sorry, and also Marianne Woodward and Giswork Yingis, and also Argath Jean Pierre and Brina Breen. Happy birthday to you, and Eveline Taylor, Brenda Buns Muhammad, Deborah Hayes, Deborah Hayes, happy birthday to you. And my girl Treen China, happy birthday to you. And Patricia T. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious, glorious, glorious May 22nd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, I didn't know. So Big's birthday was the 21st. Oh, I thought he said May 22nd. I thought he said 22nd on the record. If it's the 21st, then we're gonna rock with the 21st. But I'ma tell you like this, losing interest in the one that you love when y'all used to fit tight like a pair of gloves on OJ. Yeah, you both got slayed, but we ain't trying to go out that like that today. The way that you stay together is you gotta learn to grow and let your prove and show and say, yo, this ain't working. I know that you gotta do. I don't know, feelings hurting. I ain't trying to hurt you. I know you wouldn't want to hurt me. And if we trying to hurt each other, listen, brother, we gotta do better between each other. And I would like to love my girl like my mother, but I wouldn't want to have sex with my mom. And plus, I wouldn't want to have a woman that's like close to a dime. Give me a 5 and above, but what I'm really trying to do is have plenty of love. So I'm trying to tell you what, stay away from the trivial, but I'm still saying, hey, listen, baby, we can do best. We ain't really gotta be around and doing a lot of mess and testing each other, trying to test each other's resolve. We got a big puzzle right here and we can solve. So it's sort of like a jigsaw, but I don't really like the things that I dig and I saw. I saw you with another guy, and I'm asking myself, the hell, why? Would you ever try to play a brother like me? I ain't disinterested, but I'm mad as motherfucker, see? And I'ma do something about that, even if I gotta slow walk you and hawk you. But I won't stalk you, because I'm not violent, but I'm not going to let you play me and stay silent. What's the deal? How you feel? No calls coming up right here. It's kind of ill. I see you calling, brother, but you can't get none tonight because it ain't right. You should have came through about an hour ago, even 15 minutes or so. But no. Your interest level, trying to make sure that you keep the God level. Devil is not where you want to be, and you don't want to feel that way in your heart, and you see that anybody can get it. And I'm just trying to express myself, let it out while I spit it. Everything is going to work out fine, and I'm not going to reach and dress it and pull out the 9, loading it up. I should have bought a 40. I'm out there and nobody ever caught me. Yeah, I did my little dirt, but I ain't never squirt and make another baby on you. Bitch, you must be crazy. Energetic or lazy. Yeah, I keep my time. It's just trying to make sure that I stop on the dime. Don't stop my time. I yield to you. No, give me my time back. I ain't feeling you. Is everything going to be good? Just get things understood. As long as you give me a little respect and a little neck, the check is going to get wrote across you like a moat. Don't do that. Just respect is due to a cat. Or really a dog or any kind of animal. I'm not trying to take it to the slaughterhouse. All right, let me get the fuck on about here. Listen, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. No. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow we'll be back at 1 o'clock. 1 a.m. tomorrow, y'all. If y'all gonna come back tomorrow, we'll be back here at 1 a.m. tomorrow. And tomorrow will be the music show. Y'all know on Friday nights, we talk music. We have a good time. We always have a really good, fun conversation. And it's always a music-based conversation. Let me see. What did we talk about last week? Let me get it together. Last week's okay, wait. It was 90s R&B versus 80s R&B. That's what we talked about. No. That was the week before last. Wait a minute. Hold on. Last week it was records, tapes, CDs, or MP3s, or live. So we're gonna come up with something fresh, something fly, something dope, and it will be a music-based conversation tomorrow, and we're gonna have a good time. So make sure y'all come through. But it will be at 1 a.m. tomorrow night instead of 2 a.m. So come on through. No, we're not taking no calls. It's the end of the show, man. It's 4:12 in the morning on the East Coast. We've been on for 2 hours. Next time, just call a little bit early and I'll get you on here and I'll let you rock out. But right now we got to go. But I appreciate you calling in and participating. Thanks a lot for that. So make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, we only had 19 likes. I know we could do better than that. I know. So prove and show. You understand what it is and how it go. All right, so this is what I want. This is what I want.